All right, let's talk about something you've probably heard, whispered about, or maybe even shouted about in the crypto world, the rug pull. We're going to break down what this infamous scam is all about, and more importantly, how you can see it coming and protect yourself.
So let's just get right to it. What exactly is a crypto rug pull? You hear the term constantly, right? Usually it's right after a brand new token suddenly crashes and burns, taking a lot of people's money with it. So let's unpack what's actually going on here. The name's pretty on the nose because it's a simple and honestly a brutal scam. The idea is some developers create a new crypto project, they build up a ton of hype, get people to invest their hard-earned money, and then poof, they disappear, taking all the funds with them. The token's value hits zero, and just like that, the rug is pulled right out from under every single person who believed in it.
To get good at avoiding these scams, we first have to understand how they're built. We need to look at the anatomy of the scam itself. They almost always happen on decentralized exchanges, or DEXs. Why? Well, because the lack of regulation and the promise of total anonymity can be the perfect playground for bad actors.
And you know what's wild is that these scammers follow a pretty consistent playbook. First, they launch some shiny new token on a DEX. Then, the marketing blitz begins. They absolutely flood social media. Think X, think Telegram, with insane amounts of hype, often using bots or paying sketchy influencers. They'll promise you the moon, these unbelievable returns, all to create that FOMO, that fear of missing out. And once enough people have bought in, they drain the liquidity and just vanish.
Now, these pulls really come in two main flavors. The first is a hard pull. This is just straight-up theft, written into the code. There's literally malicious code in the smart contract that stops investors from ever being able to sell their tokens. Then you have the soft pull, which is a little more subtle. This is where the developers just dump their own huge supply of tokens on the market over time, slowly bleeding the price dry. So you've got a sudden heist on one hand and a slow, painful betrayal on the other.
And make no mistake, we are not talking about small-time operations here. The real-world impact of these scams is absolutely staggering. I mean, we're talking about billions, with a B, of dollars, stolen from regular people.
And this isn't a new problem. It's been a persistent dark cloud over the crypto world for years now. If you look back, you can see a clear pattern of these massive collapses year after year. From exchanges like ThoughtX to DeFi projects like Luna and FinTalk that promised everything and delivered nothing but losses.
Oh man, the Squid Game token. This one is just a perfect, terrifying example. It jumped on all the hype from the Netflix show, and its price went parabolic, just absolutely vertical. But there was a catch, right? Investors quickly realized the code was written so they literally could not sell. And then, in just a matter of minutes, the developers drained every penny, and the token became completely worthless.
$2 billion. Just let that sink in. That's how much was stolen from users of the Turkish crypto exchange, ThoughtX. The founder just put up a message saying the site was down for maintenance, and then he was gone, along with everyone's money. A total classic centralized heist.
But if you thought 2 billion was a big number, what happens when one of these failures is decentralized? The collapse of Luna wiped out an estimated $40 billion in market value. A number that big just shows you how devastating these things are, not just for the people who lost money, but for the credibility of the entire space.
And that really gets to the core of the damage here, which goes way beyond the financial losses. Every single time one of these major rug pulls happens, it makes big, institutional investors more skeptical. It can even lead to stricter regulations, which can slow down genuine innovation. It really does cast a long, dark shadow over everything.
Okay, so that was all the bad news. A little grim, I know. But here's the good news. You are not powerless here, not even close. By learning how to spot the warning signs, you can become your own best defense. So let's get into the Defender's Playbook. Think of these as the absolute telltale signs. Is the development team anonymous? Just a bunch of cartoon avatars with no real names? Are they promising you returns that sound way, way too good to be true? Because they probably are. You can also check a blockchain explorer to see if just a handful of wallets hold most of the tokens. That's a huge red flag. No security audit from a reputable firm, or a super vague white paper with no real point. Those are signs to run, not walk, away.
All right, so spotting those red flags is step one. That's being reactive. Now let's talk about being proactive. Let's build an action plan to actively defend your investments.
Here are 5 powerful steps that can keep you so much safer. And really, it all just boils down to diligence.
You've got to investigate the technicals, demand a real-world purpose for the project, do your own homework, stay up to date on the latest scam tactics, and maybe the hardest one of all, resist that emotional pull of social media hype. So how do you investigate the contract? I know what you're thinking. I'm not a coder, but you don't have to be. Tools like Etherscan let anyone look at a project's smart contract. If you see risky functions in there, things like Mint, which lets developers create infinite new tokens, or total owner control, that's a huge sign that you should probably stay far, far away. And all of this feeds into the golden rule of crypto, right? Do your own research. Actually read the white paper. Does it make sense? Is it detailed? Go check out what real people are saying on places like Reddit or in Telegram groups, not just the marketing hype. If a token has no real purpose other than to go up, it's probably just a gamble. And please, never, ever invest your money just because some celebrity or influencer told you to.
And all of this leaves us with one final really crucial question. In a world that's built on these ideals of decentralization and being your own bank, where does the responsibility for protection actually lie? Is it on regulators? Is it on the exchanges? Or at the end of the day, is it on each and every one of us? That's really the central tension we all have to think about as this entire space keeps growing and evolving.